Hello, la la la. All right, today I'm going to change it up and we're going to do a lesson today that I use for absolute beginners. First drum lesson, literally. The idea, this is called 5 ways, okay? And I came up with this basically because I wanted to be able to show beginning students, starting from scratch, how the most basic rhythms that you learn, which are not always that fun to learn, that, takes a little work, but I want to show them how they are applied so that they can get some payoff right away and they're not just snare drumming all the time. If they're young, they can get bored pretty quick. So I like to show them how this is going to be used, how they hear drummers in bands that they listen to, how they use all rhythms, okay? So I call this 5 ways, and it is basically the most common and basic, the first 5 ways you want to learn to apply every rhythm. So as you're going through, I use a million books. Syncopation, Alfred's Beginning Drum Set Method, the Belson book. Any beginning snare drum method is going to be a book of rhythms. So in order to apply those rhythms to drum set, I came up with 5 ways. All right, and here they are. The first way is snare drum only, counting out loud, alternating your strokes. It's important to alternate your strokes. 2 quick reasons. First of all, you're already going to be quicker than drummers that play like this. You can't hit and then lift and hit and then lift and hit. That's costing you half of the time that you need. You can double your speed or double your relaxation by just being ready with the hand that's going to play. So one motion, both hands. Every time you strike a drum, the other hand comes up. Right hand is next. Left hand is up. I don't have to be able to remember what I just played, but my body knows what hand is next. So it's this kind of robotic up and down, which is the first technical thing that I really worry about with students so that they're never guessing about which hand to use or pausing to think about it. And we apply it to snare drum. So the first rhythm I'm going to do basically is we'll do number 1 from page 10 of Syncopation, which is 1 and 2, 3, 4. So on snare drum, alternating all strokes, counting out loud, and that's it. The first of 5 ways. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2. Okay, that's it. Count out loud. Be super robotic. You'll notice that this rhythm happened to switch hands every bar. 1, 2, 3, 4. Left-handed. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right-handed. That's important. If you play an odd number of notes, your hands will always flip. If you play an even number of notes, they will never flip, okay? You can play 11 million notes, and the 11 millionth and first note is going to be right-handed. That's a guarantee. If you play 11 million and 1, next note's going to be left-handed. This is universal. 3 notes, left hand. 4 notes, staying back to the right hand. So this gets students used to that. Sometimes you're going to lead with the right, sometimes the left. A rhythm that would start with the right over and over. 1 and 2 and 3, 4, which is number 5 in Syncopation. 1 and 2 and 3, 4, right, left, right, left, right, left, right again. Right again. And you don't have to remember it. You should be like this at the end. Your right hand's ready, right? 5 notes. 1, 2. My left hand's ready. 6 notes. Right hand is ready. Okay. So now the second way is we're going to add the bass drum. Quarter note pulse. 1, 2, here it comes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, left, right, left, right, left, right, right, left. Now we're working each hand with the foot. If the bass drum in quarter notes is really easy right off the bat, I might add the hi-hat on 2 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Usually I just start with bass drum quarter notes. But again, if the student gets that right off the bat, if they've got a little natural ability there, I'll try and add the hi-hat and see how that works. Third way, 1 bar on each drum. 1 bar, 1 bar, 1 bar, 1 bar, 1 measure. Measure or bar is a full count of 4 in this case. We're ingraining 4 beats per measure and we're ingraining 4 bars per phrase because that really is the building block of almost all Western music. So here's 1 bar per drum. I'll do it with both feet. Again, you can just do bass drum if you want. So 1, 2, 1 bar per drum. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, bar per drum. If I do it with number 1 from syncopation, page 10, it's going to be an odd number of notes. It will switch hands each time. 1, left hand, right hand, left hand. Again, this is ingraining all the basics. Two-handed coordination, hands and feet, moving around the kit, being ready with each hand. You can do this in the first lesson. You really can. I almost never have a student that can't get these 5 ways the first time they ever play drums, honestly. So if they feel like this is kind of pedantic and silly, why am I going da, 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 da? Just show them how it plays faster, that's all. Right? For them once and they go, oh, okay, now I know why we're playing this. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? 1, 2, 3. So these are cool rhythms that every drummer plays. Just slow it down because we're dealing with beginners, right? So you don't want to go too fast. The hands can't move that fast. You learn them slow. The 4th way, 1 beat per drum. 4 drums, 4 beats, 4 bars. 1, 2, same patterns. 1 bar per drum, 1 beat per drum. 1 beat. So every time your bass drum comes down, that's your beat. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. If I do it with the 1 and 2, 3, 4, the hands are going to switch. Right, left, left. Left hand, right hand, left hand. That's definitely the hardest way. I always kind of describe it as it's kind of like playing a game of Twister. But again, as long as you have this robotic stuff going on, you'll be all right. And then the 5th way. This is the payoff. This is where they go, oh my God, I can't believe I can do this. This is the real context, okay? I mean, it's simplified, but it's a beginner's lesson, right? So after you've showed them the basic rock beat, usually it takes a couple of seconds. 1 and 2 and alternating bass and snare, 8th notes with the hand. Okay, maybe it'll take 5 or 10 minutes. We're going to combine that now with the rhythms we just did. 3 bars of feel, followed by 1 bar of fill around the kit. So we're using the 4th way, 1 beat per drum. That's going to be your fill. 3 bars of time, 1 bar fill, basic rock beat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2. Here comes the fill. And now I'll do the left-handed one, the odd number. It can be a little trickier. Right, left, right, left, right. Okay. So we do want to crash on the re-entry. It's kind of for another day, but to be quick about it, if your right hand is ready at the end of the fill to crash on re-entry to the rock beat, use the right cymbal. If the left hand is up and ready, use the left cymbal. You will be so far ahead of the game if you just learn to crash with whichever hand is ready at the end of your fill rather than as a righty always trying to get your right hand over there. Because if you end with the right hand, you gotta go. You don't want to do that quick right hand motion while the left hand is just sitting there, right? Right hand, right there. Left hand. Okay? So depending on which hand is up at the end, crash with that hand, okay? If we do something 4 times, though, it's always going to be right-handed, right? Because an even number of anything is even. An even number of odds is even. So all these fills are going to come out with the right hand, okay? So that's the 5th way. Context. 1st way, snare drum only, counting out loud. 2nd way, add the feet, constant pulse, either with bass drum or both feet. 3rd way, 1 bar per drum. 4th way, 1 beat per drum. doesn't matter which rhythm you're playing, you want to do that clockwise stuff. And then context. 3 bars of rock, 1 bar fill. Again, that's the template of everything you hear. You'll hear exceptions, but that's the spice, right? That's what the artist adds to make it different. The cookie cutter is 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3. 1 beat per drum with a crash at the end. 2, 3, fill. All those 8th note and quarter note rhythms are found in the first couple lessons of every snare drum book that's out there. Syncopation by Ted Reed, Alfred's Beginning Drum Set Method, the Louis Bellson book. There's a million of them. They're all just beginner snare drum method books, but they can be used for context, and I do. I use these books dozens of times. We work it one way, then we go back to the beginning. So that's 5 ways for absolute beginners to start moving rhythms around the kit. Okay, I hope that was helpful, and I'll see you next time.